Good afternoon, everyone. The Needy Professor back from the wilds of South Dakota to talk to you about sock yarn. Yes, I thought it would be very useful, especially if maybe you're a little bit new to knitting socks or you want to explore further, that I should go through some of the sock yarns I have used over the years and share with you the results and sort of by way of a review. So I've got just a handful. This is hardly a thorough 100% coverage type review, but I thought it'd be a good starting point. And if you like this video, I can surely do more and cover more yarns from more of my peregrinations through the sock knitting world. So I'm going to start with, this is a Canadian brand. I'm sure you're familiar with this. Some people call it Paton, some Paton, some Paton. So since it's in Canada, I kind of like calling it Paton, but for now I'm going to call it Paton because we're in America. This yarn is a fantastic workhorse sock yarn in my experience. Here's what I knitted from them. These socks have been through the ringer. This is one of the first pairs I ever made. In fact, I think this pair is so early that I used the sweet tomato heel on one, but not on the other because I was still figuring out how to make heels. These socks have been crushed. They've been used winter, summer. They've been sweated in, hiked in, walked in. I mean, they've been so wet that they got, discolored. I mean, that's not supposed to be pink. That's supposed to be gray. So like here you can see there's the gray and there's the pink. Right? Because I probably wore them in the rain, or maybe some mud. And there's nothing, they're like a tiny bit felted from all the wear, but literally holding up just like iron. I can't express how hard wearing this wool is. And it's not even expensive. The original price here, this is a $6 skein. You can even get this at local craft stores, this Canadian brand. And I got this for $3.60 for, I had to buy 2 skeins, right? So one for each sock, as you know, I have this formula. But the Paton, I think it's called Kroy, right? That's, my labels are kind of covering that. But it's the Kroy sock yarn. It's 75% wool and 25% nylon. It's literally made in Turkey, even though it's a Canadian brand. But for the money, you cannot beat this yarn. I'm just telling you, I can't speak more highly. I wear my socks hard. Here's another really hard-wearing sock yarn, I'm sorry. And this is a German brand. It says online. I'm pretty sure I got this at Personal Threads in Omaha. And again, it's superwash, literally superwash wool, 75% virgin wool. It says Schöne Wolle, that means virgin wool. 25% polyamide, which I'm pretty sure is the same as nylon. If I am mistaken, feel free to tell me. This is made in Italy, but it is a German brand. It's a 6-ply, so it says Sechsfach on there, which means 6-ply. Supersocke Bambini. I love this. Don't you love that color? Oh my God, they were so fun to knit. Now this yarn is a little thicker. So some of the European yarns, they come out a little bit heavier. So I can't wear these with all my boots. Some pairs are, they fit me a little more loosely, but isn't that fun? But again, very hard wearing, extremely satisfactory as far as no holes, no signs of wear to speak of. And these socks are years old. Let's go to one that I'm a little bit less thrilled with. Now, I don't have the label for this, but this is a Madeline Tosh, and it's really thin. So I don't know, if that tells you how thin it is to hold it up like that. But believe me, it's kind of thin. I would probably be more inclined to wear this for like a shawl. Now, I do get a fair amount of wear out of these socks, but what's happening is they're, especially towards in the toe area, you stick my hand down in there and I'll just show you. They're starting to get a hole. So I do try to clip my toenails on a regular basis, and that helps, but you can see they're wearing through there. So I'm going to have to darn these, and I will, because other than that, they're holding up pretty well. They're kind of pilling a little bit. This is a super wash with 25% nylon, and sometimes I need a thinner sock because I have a boot that is a little bit tight, so tighter last, etc. But I kind of avoid Madeline Tosh now. When I'm looking for sock yarn, this is not what I look for, just because not wearing as well. Let's go to another German brand. So this is I know they're like English pronunciations of this, but for me it's a Zauberball. Zauberball by Schoppel. So everybody knows the Toab Bal, the German brand. This yarn actually kind of surprised me because it's called Garden Party. I'm just trying to see. It's certified virgin wool by Patagonia. The nylon is biodegradable. So this is an environmentally conscious brand. Biologisch abbaubar. So it's 75% wool, and it says strong quality superwash on the label. Believe it or not, 25% polyamide, but biologisch abbaubar. So literally oh, that's some traffic coming by. Biodegradable nylon. And you know, when I got this, I thought it's kind of thin, you know, but actually it's not. These, so I only have one, but these, oh, the color variations are just so gorgeous. But these socks, again, they're wearing so well. I have zero problems with the toe. I haven't had these quite as long, probably a couple years. They're not as felted yet as the Kroy ones are, but it's very comfortable, very hard wearing, very satisfying. I recommend the Toab Bal almost any weight. If it's graded build as sock yarn, you should be good to go. Here's one from Trilogy. A lot of us have heard of Trilogy. That's a yarn dyer from, if I'm not mistaken, she's from, yeah, Spokane. So from Spokane Trilogy, they're pretty good at advertising to get word around. This is all I have left. Got one skein, 100-gram skein for 2 socks. This is 80% wool and 20% nylon. So kind of inching up there a little bit as far as the you know, ratio of wool to nylon. It's good to know that you can have more wool. I don't know if you can make heads or tails, but the twist, that's what you want in a sock yarn. You want high twist. So if that's something that you didn't know before, I can pass that along. I didn't know it until I was like 2 years into making socks that, oh, you gotta have high twist. Well, and these, even though they're super wash and they're like more wool, I've had zero problems with these socks. I love the colors. There's some felting going on the heel. That's, you know, gonna happen. But surprisingly, even with the superwash, I think, to me, it's a sign that Trilogy Yarns is using a good quality of wool there. Very satisfied with this yarn for making socks. They were fun to make, and they are holding up the way I would want them to. Here's another German brand you're probably very familiar with, Lang. This is called Jawohl, which is, of course, a play on words of Jawohl. And it is made, I want to say this is made in Italy. Yes, made in Italy. The company Lang, I just learned this recently. Lang is based in Switzerland. I honestly thought it was a German company. So if I said German, I was wrong. It's Swiss. They are based in der Schweiz, Switzerland. This again is 75% virgin wool, 25% nylon. I don't know if you can kind of tell. Yeah, the twist is what you want for a sock yarn. This yarn is thinner, but it holds up beautifully. I love these rainbow socks. I love to wear rainbows. And as far as durability, zero problems. I wear these a lot. They're kind of a medium weight, I would say. Thicker than the Mad Tosh, but thinner than the online that I showed you. Let's see here. What else have I got? I've got an interesting yarn from Austermann. And it has, let me see if I can find the link. It says, with aloe vera and jojoba oil. So, I don't know. Do you need lotion in your socks? You can always put lotion on your feet. That's what I do. Especially lanolin, right? This yarn was made in the Czech Republic. So it's a German brand, Austermann, but it's Czech produced. And again, I'm quite confident. Most of the yarn I buy is 75% wool, 25% nylon. That's what we have here. But it was a lot of fun in it. And again, the quality is wonderful. I have a little bit of wear going on one toe. This is not the thickest of yarns, but I don't feel like I have to darn them yet. I mean, you tell me. I think they're still holding up pretty well. And It's comfortable. I think the oil's a gimmick. I really never noticed that they, were like putting hand cream on my feet when I was wearing them. So it's nice to maybe imagine that they're babying your feet in that way. But Austermann, if you want to say it that way. As far as the quality of the yarn, excellent. Here's another yarn that I'm going to say surprised me a little bit. So this yarn is so thin. But again, if you can make out the twist. This is from Breaking Yarn. And I bought this in Taos, New Mexico. I had to have something that was breaking bad. This is called Doghouse. 75% wool, superwash, 25% nylon. And I'm going to be honest, I'm floored with how well this is holding up. So if you have sock yarn from Breaking Yarn, if my experience is any measure, it's going to hold up well. And it's thin. I mean, I can wear these in my more elegant boots that are a little bit tighter fitting. And I do all the time. No problems. No problems. Now, here's a yarn that didn't work out for me. I'm going to have to really get out my darning skills, which don't exist yet. So I tried this. It was billed to me as sock friendly. The brand is Henry's Attic. And this yarn is merino. It's got superwash. Try to get to the end of the label there. 63% superwash, 18.5%, and then it has Tussa silk. And I was told, oh, the silk will make it, very sturdy. Well, folks, I wore these once, and I need to darn them. Got a hole. I was not happy. I won't, as a result, buy sock yarn again that has silk instead of nylon. So I'm going to try to darn these and just not wear them when I'm doing yard work, I love the yarn. It's soft. It was fun to knit. It's beautiful. But like I say, I've only worn these socks once so far. I think I'm down to just a couple more representatives. This is a hand-dyed yarn from Atlanta called Ryan Yarn. I don't know if this person, how much online business they do. You can get this yarn at the Craftivist in Atlanta. So if you live in Atlanta or you visit Atlanta, highly recommend. Again, here we have 80% merino, 20% nylon. So a little bit higher wool content. But if you can make that out, the twist, look at the twist. That's what makes this yarn sturdy. And it is felting a little. Doesn't bother me. It's going to happen. I mean, even up top here where my boots, the ankle, if it's wet, right, it's going to happen. It just makes the socks sturdier. And they're still gorgeous. Ooh, look at that. Lovely, beautiful red, pink, orange, yellow. And I am extraordinarily happy with this Ryan Yarn. Thank you, Ryan Yarn, for making this yarn both beautiful and sturdy, because I can knit it and have fun doing that, and I can have fun wearing it. So those are just a few examples, and I am bringing this yarn. This yarn I bought at Warmth, a wool studio. It's made in Portugal. The brand is Mondim, and it is 100% wool. In fact, it's 100% Portuguese wool. Look at that. So I am told it's meant for socks. It's meant to have felting properties if you take good care of it. Like, I have a hand wash setting in my washer. I use wool wash. I dry them outside. You can dry socks outside even if it's cold. I understand that people literally hang their clothes to dry in Greenland when it's 15 degrees, and they still dry. I might try it because sometimes it gets 15 degrees here where I live. So in any case, the salesperson swore to me that this is even better than having nylon in your wool. And I would be very curious if you have experience using woolly wool to make socks, like for example, the Rambler wool from the Woolly Thistle. Tell me if you agree. You know, I think there's some British yarns that advertise that are made to be sock yarn. I mean, if you think about it, right, 100 years ago, people didn't have nylon. They just had wool. And I understand from a friend of mine that you can actually spin in a very particular way, the way you spin and ply and the directions that you use to make extraordinarily sturdy wool with just the right twist to where it takes a long time to wear out. So I'm going to assume that that's what's going on here. It looks like it's got a good twist to me. So hopefully I won't have the experience with these when I knit them up that I had with these, and I got a hole on the first try. So let me know what you think of this content. I could review all kinds of yarn. It's fun. I can tell you how it's worked for me based on my experience over the past 8 or so years of knitting, especially socks, because I've knit and worn a ton of those. And like I say, I have 3 times as much wool in addition to this that I could talk to y'all about, and I could give you some more recommendations. So appreciate your listening. Look forward to your comments, and we'll see you next time. Ciao.